President Trump's first 100 days, plus our exclusive interview with top Russian diplomat Sergei Lavrov. I'm Margaret Brennan. Join me for Face the Nation.
We leave you this Sunday morning with some romantic and endangered sage grouse near Devil's Tower in Wyoming. I'm Jane Pauley. Please join us when our trumpet sounds again next Sunday morning.
I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington, and this week on Face the Nation, as Trump 2.0 nears the 100-day mark, what do Americans think of the job he's doing? It's been 98 days of an unrelenting avalanche of change that's turned Washington upside down and rankled even our closest international allies. As the impact of those changes are now being felt from coast to coast, what kind of progress report is America giving President Trump on the issues that got him elected, like the economy, inflation, immigration, and border security? We'll check in with the first-term head of Trump's National Economic Council, Gary Cohn, and the administration's point person on immigration, border czar Tom Homan. New Hampshire Democratic Senator Jeanne Shaheen will also be here. Plus, what about Trump's campaign promise to end the war in Ukraine on day one? Mr. Trump has been pushing hard for a ceasefire, but he's frustrated with the pace of negotiations and the parties involved. In a rare interview, we talked with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Why should the U.S. believe Russia is serious about ending the war? Who gave us some insights from the Kremlin.
I read President Trump's book, The Art to Make a Deal, and he doesn't advise to disclose information before it's time.
It's all just ahead on Face the Nation. Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. This morning, our new CBS News poll finds that President Trump's overall approval rating has dropped 8 points since his inauguration. And although 6 in 10 Americans say he's doing what he promised during the campaign, there is some growing concern about some of the policies he's pursuing to fulfill those promises. For more, we're joined now by CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Anthony, you look at those numbers. The president's not doing badly. What explains, though, the decline that we have seen since taking office?
Good morning, Margaret. Look, this is a story about big expectations and big changes. A big majority of Americans think that Donald Trump is making major changes to how the U.S. government works, to how the U.S. economy works. But it's also a story about focus, especially early in a term. What we see is increasingly Americans think that the administration is putting too much focus on trade and tariffs and not enough on what they see as trying to lower prices. And prices are really closely connected to how they rate the president, not just overall, but on handling the economy and on handling inflation. Specifically, those ratings are down now to their lowest level of his term. But the other part on expectations, Margaret, that coming into this, Americans told us many expected them to get financially better off under Donald Trump. They were remembering the economy during his first term when they said it was good. And so far, we see more Americans saying that they're now financially worse off as a result of those policies. Also, that less of them think that he's got a clear plan for what to do on trade and tariffs. So that's kind of undermined confidence a little bit on that. I have to add, his political base, MAGA Republicans in particular, are still very much behind him and are okay with this. They think the economy is getting better, even as Americans overall say that it's getting worse. The movement here has come from that segment of folks who kind of were giving him a chance on the economy, not necessarily MAGA voters, but they were saying, okay, they think he can lower prices and lower inflation, and so far, they haven't seen it.
It's always interesting to see how much people